like opened, basically? Okay. Now, the door, is there anything besides the door on the front of the cell?
There is a food spot that can keep open to pass food, telling her to go to the food spot, taking food, medications, or anything else that needs to be handed through the door without actually breaching the door.
Where is it located on the door relative to the ground? How high up?
I'd say about thigh high, I'd say.
So when Nurse Rocky arrived and you opened the food slot, you said the defendant stuck his arm out?
Correct. He stuck his, I believe it was his left arm outside the slot and was refusing to let Rocky do a medical evaluation. He was screaming and denying reason.
What happened next?
So that's when I asked him multiple times to, if he would like to have his vitals checked, which he did not respond to him screaming. So then I decided to terminate the interaction and continue to pass medication through A block. However, so after that, I decided to go back again and check to see if his vitals checked.
Did he?
He did. I went to his door and he started screaming again that he was in fear for his life when he went up to an officer. And in order to de-escalate the situation, that's when I used my radio to call for an additional officer, which ended up being Officer Tweedell, to stand by during the evaluation.
Once Officer Tweedell arrived, did anyone else come?
No, the only ones that were in the situation were myself, Officer Tweedell, and Nurse Rocky.
What happened next?
So once Officer Tweedell arrived on scene, Mr. Bloom kept on screaming and could not get a word in. That's when Officer Tweedell was able to reason with him to let Rocky do the evaluation through the food slot so we can get things going. And that's when Mr. Bloom complied to have his arm through the food slot and have the blood pressure cuff put on his arms.
Why not go into the cell to do the evaluation with Nurse Rocky?
So Mr. Bloom was highly agitated, and as stated before, Mr. Bloom was a level 1 inmate. A level 1 inmate, when the door is breached, they have to have handcuffs and leg irons placed on. Due to Mr. Bloom's level of anger at the time, my duty sergeant, Sergeant Greg, I was informed to do the evaluation through the food slot.
Now, once Officer Tweedell, it's Officer, right? Officer Tweedell? Thank you. Once Officer Tweedell was able to speak to the defendant and start the evaluation, what happened next?
So once we were able to finally get the blood pressure cuff on him, that's when Mr. Bloom swiftly pulled his arm back into the food slot, back into the cell, taking the blood pressure cuff with him.
Did you see that happen?
I did. I tried to retrieve it back, but was unable to.
I missed the Netherlands already, by the way.
Did you see what happened with Rocky specifically, Nurse Rocky?
I was not, my attention was mostly on Mr. Bloom. My attention was not on Mr. Rocky.
When you're at the door, is there anywhere to look inside of the cell besides an open food slot?
So the cell, opaque, but there are transparent windows if I would enable myself with them.
And where were you paying attention when this happened?
I was mostly looking towards the food slot with Mr. Bloom's arm outside of the food slot and just trying to make sure that everything, he didn't try anything.
Are you aware if there are cameras in the jail? Are you aware if there was a video recorded that showed part of this incident? Have you reviewed that video today?
Yes,
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Mr. Navin, I'm going to be approaching you with what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 1. What do you recognize that to be?
I think we do get some
This
video
is
here.
a CD or DVD.
And what does it have on it?
Balloon videos, also a red sticker, so you can do one as well as my initials and Officer Tweedale's initials.
Is that a video? Is that a disc that contains the video from this incident?
Yes, it is.
Is it a fair and accurate copy of the video?
I think so.
And I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 1.
Any objection or what here?
I have no objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Permission to the jury?
Yes.
Permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
Apologize, I cannot make this window any bigger when it comes up, Your Honor, so
All right.
there's a limitation of the system.
Number one, know what I'm saying? Number one, know what I'm saying? We are the Law Talk with my crew. Number one, know what I'm saying? Number one, know what I'm saying?
It should be coming up on the screen whenever it is switched over. Officer Navin, are you able to see that video on the screen that's sort of at your stand?
Yes.
Can you please tell the jury, I have my pointer here, if you are able to see that moving on the screen. This door here in the middle of the video, what's that?
That is the cell door for cell 3MX in the max area.
And which cell was the defendant in, if you
It was
recall?
in 1MX, which is more towards the upper left.
Now I'm using my pointer to sort of indicate over here. Is that correct? For the record, this is a 10-minute video. I don't think there's any objection from defense counsel if I skip ahead just a little bit.
No objection.
Fast
All right,
forward.
very good.
Who's that on the video that we see now, that person?
That's cell.
What is that thing that we see at the door?
That is Mr. Arm outside of the cell.
This is pretty gripping stuff, huh?